only be four? Okay, there you go.
There we go.
Hello,
There's the lady of the
how
hour.
you doing?
Hello,
Great.
How you
How are
doing?
you all doing?
What you got? What you got over there? What you
Good.
drinking over there? That's some tea or
Theraflu.
huh?
Theraflu.
Theraflu. Okay. I thought there was something else in the cup.
No.
It looked brown. I don't know.
Well, I normally would do Bailey's and coffee, but not tonight.
Not tonight. Oh, okay. Theraflu. So you feeling under the weather?
Yeah, I am, but it's all good.
Okay. Well, I'll introduce you to myself. I'm CJ with HC Express. That's Ebony with Time of Essence. And my main man, James, there. Dang, I forgot the company, James.
WTP Logistics.
I apologize.
Okay, I like
did
it.
that on purpose.
That's called
Sorry,
You a man, though. So we're going to go ahead and get this started. It's another episode of Eavesdropping Knowledge, where we tap in with dispatching and other entrepreneur ventures. And today we have a special guest here, the first female of Freight. Glad to have you. Glad that you accepted our interview request. And I just want to, I guess, get it started. Is if you could tell us your journey from the beginning and what before you got into dispatching and what made you get into it, and then pretty much where you are now. So we want to know like the ups and downs, so we can inspire people pretty much to know, hey, it's not always going to be easy. It starts rough, and then pretty much where you are now, so we know you're super successful.
Okay, awesome. I'm trying to see. Well, basically, I guess the short version is.
We want the long version. I don't want the short version. Not the 3 weeks old long version, but
I joined trucking in Well, first, let me back up. I've been working in hotel management for over 16 years. For Hilton Hotels and Resorts as a general manager. And my fiance at the time, my husband now, had an opportunity to partner with someone who had an existing trucking company that was not performing well. Neither of us had any trucking experience at all. They had 2 trucks. We partnered with them, was able to turn things around. We bought them out, and then we during the beginning of starting in trucking, we were taking advantage of a lot. And it was because of lack of knowledge, lack of experience, having literally no clue. Just for an example, you can get like an insurance policy from $2,500 to $4,000 down payment. We paid $7,000 per truck, and we didn't even know that was ridiculous. Yes. So we started off originally with not so good personal credit and all of our personal funds. When we first started, the funny thing is I actually hired a dispatcher. Did not have a clue what a dispatcher was, did not know anything. And I tell people this story all the time. When I pulled up and I met the young lady that was dispatching, I was driving like a 2004 red Ford Focus with like a white hood. She was driving a Mercedes. Yeah, she was driving a brand new Mercedes. So I should have known then that I probably was in the wrong industry, but it didn't click. So long story short, with that part of it, she taught me a lot. She was very well versed in dispatching, probably kept her on board for about maybe 90 days. And again, lack of knowledge, lack of experience. She had her own authority, put one of my trucks under her authority, and it just kind of started to be bad business. From that point, we parted ways. So started to dispatch my own trucks, still working my full-time job as a general manager. Blessed that I was a manager, so I could kind of do both. Hired my stepdaughter as my assistant, booked the loads in the morning, went to work, did what I had to do. And when things got rough in trucking, I just could kind of come and go. And things did. 4 days after we got our authority, went active, we had a driver that totaled out a brand new trailer. That was a loadout trailer. And yes, deaf to a new authority. So that would be death to a new authority. So we actually had to set up a payment plan to keep it from going on insurance. And with money we really didn't have. So as far as trucking, it was the first 2 years was very rough. It was very rough. It was a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of breakdowns, a lot of not knowing what was going to happen, a lot of making over 10, 15, making over $7,000 to $10,000 a week, but paying out well more than that. My W-2 job of being a general manager is what allowed us to sustain and to be able to keep the trucking company afloat. And again, it was a lot of it was just really being taken advantage of a lot. Had a mechanic that that literally every other weeks my trucks rotated being in and out of his shop. And I think in 1 month we spent close to $40,000. And that's when we quickly realized that we were basically funding his business. So again, taking advantage of a lot, not knowing. So what we decided to do when we decided to buy out the previous ownership, we decided to take 4 months, completely restructure. We focused on our personal credit, improved our personal credit, built our business credit. And we even opened an office in Asheville, North Carolina, because the insurance rates were cheaper than Georgia. So we strategically planned everything. And when we started back up, we actually purchased our third truck from Penske, $38,000 on business credit. It's to the day this title has my previous company's name. So those are some of the things that we teach. Like all the things that we went through, we started to teach. So when it comes, so fast forward, trucking got great. Let me just say that. Trucking was amazing. Okay. Throw it in the bag, over $54,000 because we started to grow in trucks. We got up to 6 trucks. And over $54,000 a month and just revenue coming in just from trucking. And then we decided to, we believe in helping others. So of course we started with our family and our friends. So we started to introduce our family and our friends in the trucking, started to manage their trucking business for them. They actually had their own, they were like either had their own type of entrepreneurship they had going on, or they worked for corporate America. So how I got into dispatching after we helped them set it up, they was like, oh, can you stay on and do dispatching? Of course, I've done dispatching, but I didn't have any contracts, any agreements, anything. So I just quickly whipped some things up, sent it to them, started dispatching them too.
Quick question, not to interrupt you. So who was dispatching your 6 trucks?
And originally I had hired a dispatcher, and after about, I think 60 days, I started to do it. So from that point forward, I dispatched my own trucks.
Okay,
and I still do.
Because she said she did it in the morning, and then she was working her corporate job. So she would do it in the morning.
I did, yeah. Okay. And so the thing about it is once I started dispatching for them, literally true story, I made $1,242 the first week. So I was like, more of this. So then I started to offer dispatch services. And that's kind of what started the 3D dispatch. And then in addition to that, I started to follow more people on social media that did courses and just did trucking. And then I would notice the prices that they were charging for courses. So I was like, well, that's kind of ridiculous. It's not that hard. We were kind of going through the pandemic and everything. So I was like, I wanted to offer something affordable for people that were stuck at home and didn't have jobs and wanted to be with their kids. So I started to offer more affordable dispatch training classes. And let me just back up. So managing my trucking company, working my W-2 job, started everything in 2016, restructured, and we started our own, partnered in 2016, restructured, started our own in 2019. It's now 2020 and COVID had hit. So literally, we had the office in North Carolina, but I was telling my fiance at the time, I need a place locally in Georgia I can focus, because I worked in the office like a majority of my life. I was kind of rooming with someone, trying to save money for the trucking company and everything. And so I wanted to to have a place I could focus locally and not have to drive. So I told him I wanted to get an office. Of course, he said, we don't need extra expense. Long story short, I had an appointment to see an office in Riverdale at 11 a.m. Went into work, got fired at 10 a.m.
We got to know about that.
COVID.
Oh, so you got laid off.
2020. Okay. Got laid off at 10 a.m., walked into the office, looked at that office at 11 a.m., never looked back. I've been certified CEO since 2020. My business supports my lifestyle. And I'm just so grateful for it because in 1 year, I was in 22 states. I was not there for the birth of my first grandchild. I had to see her via virtually. But once I started to do dispatching and managing the trucking company, I just remember having a real moment when I was at my son's house. He was in Miami with his wife. I was there with my 4-month-old grandson, my 4-year-old granddaughter, Netflix, chilling, daycare runs, changing diaper, making food, and my 70-year-old mom. So it was just like I wouldn't have been able to do those things if I worked for someone else. So that is what I appreciate the most about it. We opened up the office in Macon, the dispatch office in Macon, also in 2020. And then I started to do more courses. I even grew to the point where I had like 7 dispatchers, 7 contract dispatchers working with me in my office. And then it just didn't work for me. You know, I just know that, you know, when you have a brand, and I know you know because I see you promoting your brand and advertising your brand, so I'm sure you can feel what I'm about to say. When you have a brand, you're passionate about your brand is like you, it's your life, it's a part of you. And then when other people kind of like don't appreciate it or don't actually uphold the same image. So I slowly got that down to like, you know, one person eventually, and then wind up just taking it totally over. But what I realized very quickly is that there's a difference between an employee and a partner. So that's what I do now. I don't have employees, I have partners, which means that I pay them for the services that they provide. They have a brand, I have a brand, our brands come together. I pay them for the service that they provide and we partner up, as opposed to an employee that when 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock comes, I'm done and that's it. So let me see where I can.
Could you explain that a little bit more? Like, because that's for somebody that's at that point that wants to like grow their business.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Because like, you know, we do have a lot of people that ask about that. And of course, that's something that I always talk about, you know, with CJ, that, you know, partnership is very important.
Oh, yeah.
Because I want us on the same level.
Okay, good. So what I originally did, I hired them as employees. So I paid them a flat rate of pay. Like I tried it different ways because it was a test. So first time I just paid them a flat weekly pay. The second thing I did was I did them a certain rate for 3 carriers and then gave them additional amount when they added more carriers. It really didn't work because what I realized, I was still doing majority of the work. I was still just booking majority of the loads. Because if they weren't done, they didn't mind leaving. They had flat rates of pay. So now what I do is, so a lot of people in the industry do 50-50 split. I tried that, to be honest. My heart won't let me do that. Because I had one of my, someone had taken my class, came down here from North Carolina, sat in my office trying to book box trucks for hours. And I'm over there surfing the web and on Instagram and updating my website. And I'm watching her just trying to book. I could not say, and she did good. She made like $450 just that week. I couldn't say, give me half of that. I didn't think that was fair. So I do a lower percentage. So that's how I do it. I do a lower percentage. I pay them weekly. The carrier pays me. I give them the client. I take a lower percentage and then I pay them every week. But it's different because, again, they have a brand that's a partnership. They get paid by a percentage instead of a flat rate of pay. So that's worked for me. That's worked. Yep.
All right.
Yep. I'm planning to do more of that.
And that's something that I talked about even with some people that they're still struggling to get carriers but have their own brand. I have talked to a couple of people that's in my circle, and that's the kind of contract that I want in place to where I would give them 6% and I take the lower percent.
Yeah.
You know, for them to dispatch some of the trucks that I have under me. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to see everybody win. Like I love having partnerships to where I can push something like compliance off. If you do compliance, I get a relationship with you.
Exactly.
So I know you're going to take care of the client that I'm about to send because they trust my word and my judgment on who I send them over to. You get what I'm saying?
Oh,
and
yeah.
That's what that's what I teach also, all about partnerships and just building, you know, creating different relationships. And, you know, and sometimes you can piggyback off and be an affiliate for different companies, period.
Exactly. I agree 100%, and that's good. And I think as entrepreneurs and CEOs and brand, and when you have your own brand, that was the most difficult. Like when we started in trucking, the most difficult part was depending on someone else for my success. Knowing that this driver is going to be the first person a shipper sees. Knowing that I have to depend on their dependability to make that load. And when I went into the dispatch side, which I absolutely love. That's what I love. That's my passion. The training and the dispatching, hands down, that's my first option. And passion? Yeah, the money. Hey, the money's good. I do.
You the first person I ever met to say they actually like it.
I do. I like it.
I came from the logistics side. I know the ups and downs that come with it. So I roll with the punches because that's I told you that's my passion. Like I love the trucking industry, period, across the board. Because
there's my girl at Three Rivers. Hey girl. Hey Chucker Rod. I'm sorry, that's my girls right there checking in.
Yeah. So of course, you know, like I have my days. Like today, I had these last 2 days. I mean, every week I have a day, 1 or 2. You know, like I be ready to quit. I be ready to tell every motherfucking body, fuck y'all, because a lot of people came out in the pandemic and they still not comprehending what's going on. And like I told somebody today, one of my owners. Y'all keep hollering about diesel. Whether diesel is high or low, diesel still gonna be your most expensive expense on the trucking side. When diesel come down, those rates go down. So if you don't understand this industry, you need to get your ass out. Just plain blank, period. No, I'm serious.
That's my drop. Ebony gonna give it to you raw.
2019, diesel prices were decent. You get what I'm saying? And diesel was still one of your highest expenses when you are an operator or a fleet owner.
Yeah, so for me, it's just the nature of business. Like, every single industry has their ups and downs. That's just how it is. And when they normally complain to me, like I've been in it long enough that I just understand. Rates might be $2 a mile. I've seen them at $1.44 a mile. Where you pay the driver and you pay your fuel and you make nothing. The key in trucking, just like in any industry, is save your money when the money's. But see, so there's a few things I have to say about that. One is save your money because bad times are unavoidable. They are coming. Be prepared for it. But the other thing about it is, like I tried to, I just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. It was good though.
I know it now. I know it's some Hennessy in that cup.
It was real good.
You heard? Now I know it's some Hennessy in that cup. It's not no Theraflu. You were saying saving money is good because rough times are coming.
Yeah, but I try to explain. Yeah, thank you. But I try to explain that to them. But a lot of people don't a lot of times they don't comprehend, and I do understand, and I just tell them, like, I understand because I've been through it, but this is it. Thank you so much. I like you. The point I was trying to make was I tried to tell them, okay, so see, people are complaining about rates now, but we've been running like 350 since 2020. All the way through off-peak season. I've been getting like an average of 350, 356 a mile. The rates just start dropping in April. Typically, second week in January through second week in March, the rates drop. They just drop. We've had like a good 2-year run. So I just know it's just the nature of business, and that's just what I kind of explained. And it's the nature of business. You just gotta get through it to get to it, and it's gonna come back around again. Just be grateful for the times when it's not that way. But yeah.
Exactly. So you've been in the trucking, you said, since 2016. What were rates in 2016? Like what, $2 a mile, 180?
They were still about I can't even remember. Yeah, probably about a little over $2 a mile. But I know that like either the January of 20 is either 17 or 18. They were 144 a mile. I remember. I will never forget. That's how low they were. Yes, they were 144 a mile.
Dry van? And like that was a dry van?
Yes.
See, you just said, I need you to repeat that again, because for the people in the back that don't understand, because I deal with high shots, right?
Yeah.
And if I'm telling you, back in 2018, you just said 140 a mile. So if you a high shot, you was probably getting 30 cents. 40 cents. No, I'm being real, dog. Like,
she's saying.
If they complaining now, because y'all jumped out here and went and bought all this equipment, y'all got all these PPP loans, SBA loans, and now you can't keep up. Like seriously. And now you think you got to put all that weight on me because your overhead is so high. Yeah. You don't want to move your truck, or
I have a question. So what would you say your average, for the carriers you're dispatching, what would you say on average their break-even rate is? Because you said if you can be at 144 a mile, that means your break-even is pretty low. So as of right now in this current market, what would you say their average break-even is?
See, this is the thing. I don't get into that. I don't get into carrier operations. One is I'm a trucking company owner. Everybody has different expenses. Two, I tell a lot of dispatchers like that I train, when you give people too much information, it becomes your fault. So if I say, as an additional service, I'm going to tell you what your rate per mile is, or what, I start managing your operations. Then when stuff is different than what I say, you come back to me and say, well, you said that this was blah, blah, blah. So I don't really get into the details as far as the carriers. I provide a dispatch service. Of course, I'm smart enough to know, as far as don't send you to places with high gas rates, get you the highest rate that I can for the best mile. But I don't get into what's your break even rate, because for one, your business owner, you should technically know. You should know, and you should. I know. Oh, trust me. I know they don't. But it's just like when you start to offer information, they put it on you when it's wrong, or because I have some people that are hard-headed, that when I say don't do that, don't give extra, don't give pointers, don't say don't do this. I provide a service. This is how I view it. I provide a service. These are my rates. I will always get you the best rate. You tell me the lanes that you want to run. You tell me what your goal rate per mile is. You tell me when you want to be home. You tell me your maximum weight. You give me your equipment specifics. I get you the best rate based on that. And if you ask me for a rate that's ridiculous, I will honestly say the market is not doing that right now. This is what it's doing. I will do the best to get you as close to that as I can, but I will educate them when it comes to freight and rates, but I really don't get into that because it just opens up so many other things for me.
No, I got it. And I respect it. Question. I want to ask you, what's your thoughts, or what would you tell, like, for a drive-in, what would you tell them pretty much what you could probably average them? If somebody was on the phone with you, what would you tell them? Would you tell them $3 or would you tell them like $2.50 a mile right now?
See, again, I'm not that type of, when you call me, I literally say it's based on, like when somebody said call me, like I got a call today, and I get calls all the time, and I just normally say, I'm going to be honest with you. Like today, my conversation was, the market is currently down. It is average. Rates literally depend on the lanes that you run. The type of I said it depends on the lanes that you run, the type of equipment, the maximum weight that you can haul. Like a lot of different things come into play. Now, once they fill out my questionnaire, then I can educate them more. But I can't give you info. And I'm more focused on but I have said yes, right now it's run about $2, $2.37 a mile as far as for driving equipment. Yep.
And she's absolutely correct on that 230 on the average, because when I talk to some of my partnerships outside of just like like my factoring company, like I tell you guys, like I ask those questions, like what's the average invoice factoring for this type of equipment? And I actually asked my guy today, one of my factoring guys, and he said $2.30 for a dry van. He actually said that.
I ain't even seen that yet.
Well, this is what I'm saying, and I'm being like,
including deadhead.
I always. So this is the thing. Like I booked a load today for $4.32 a mile, but that's not the average right now. You know what I'm saying? I can get you a higher, but that's not the standard of what's going on right now, and it's across the market, and it's all types of equipment. And I definitely agree with what the young lady saying is. And I was literally just having the conversation yesterday with my husband / business partner. Like, do you think that there's culturally differences in a semi and the small equipment? Because their mindset is different. Like they don't really understand that you can't have a box truck and get semi rates. It's just not. That's not how it goes.
You always say
you can't. That's not how it goes, huh?
Do you dispatch box trucks?
Yes. He does.
Do you dispatch hot shots too?
He does.
Oh, you said he does. Well, let me ask you, because I'm pretty sure you agree with Ebony or whatnot. How is it like, far as like the box trucks in the hot shot game right now?
Hot shot game is pretty good. So again, a lot of it depends on the lanes that you run. If you do southeast, northeast, hot shots, and even box truck, you're still good. They can literally, depends on the lanes, like they can make 4 to 6 a week. I have seen one make 8, like even now in a week. And when I say a week, I mean less than 6 days. But it depends. You got to be open, and you got to be grinding, and you got to be willing to ride, and you got to be willing to be on time. Yeah. You got to be willing.
I'm sorry, not to interrupt you. Just like how you were saying, it depends on the equipment, because I know Ebony said this as well or whatnot. As far as a hot shot, if they have the wrong trailer or whatnot, do you think you can still make a certain amount with the wrong trailer?
No, because I think we had one guy that has like a 20-foot, so he definitely doesn't make as much. But he did do pretty good. Like he still make at least 4, but he's open. Okay. He's open. But when they start saying,
we asking you questions that we pretty much, we always say as well. And I, I just want,
you want me to confirm?
Yeah. Well,
you want me to be like, see what I mean?
No, I trust my sister Ebony. You know what I'm saying? Because she a OG to the game as well. But I just wanted, because a lot of people respect you as well. So sometimes when somebody else said, they're pretty much, respect a little bit.
They really don't. For me, we still, as women, we still looked at as the underdogs all across the board. You get what I'm saying? I'm just period. Because I've told y'all stories where I'm the person that does trucking, but if my son was in a car with me, they'll want to talk to him. You get what I'm saying? And he has no clue about shit. No, I'm telling you. So, so that's why, you know what I'm saying? I come off as strong as I do. I don't mean no harm, but like, I don't like repeating myself. And I'm not finna keep telling you who I am, what my worth is. I'm just gonna cut you off the board. Because if you can't rock with me in a good times, you ain't gonna be able to rock with me in a bad times. And it's no loyalty in this shit. This shit is rigged. It's cutthroat. And if you ain't got the balls to stand in it, you might as well go say bye-bye. And don't go back, get you a 9 to 5.
I just think that when you go ahead, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry. I just think
it's a lot of new dispatchers coming out, and they think something's supposed to be handed to them, and they're not trying to put in the work. I didn't heard so many people that depended strictly on brokers to move them around that they didn't want to pay a dispatcher. Ask me where they sitting at. They've been sitting for days because some of these brokers, whether you have a direct lane or whatever, direct shipper, if they have no freight to ship out and you were solely dependent on them because you don't have that many relationships, then of course you're gonna lose because you don't want to pay nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Any business you get into, it's a cost of doing business.
Yeah.
Just like we have to pay somebody if we want to manage our social media, we want a virtual assistant to do this, send out our emails. It's a cost of doing business when you're trying to pivot and grow.
So I say for me, like one thing I do, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I was saying I was agreeing with my sister. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. One thing I do to kind of, because I hear the frustration in your voice, okay? One thing I do is and I don't know if you do or not, I'm just saying, one thing I do from the very beginning is we get all that out of the way in the beginning. I do an onboarding call, 5 to 15 minutes. I do a questionnaire. I do a preferred lane, an onboarding call. So we're going to get all these expectations understood now, because I've had people say right now, I want $4 a mile. I can't get you $4 a mile. $4 a mile is not out there right now. So I just be honest with them, like up front. I'm going to let you know everything. Yes. Sometimes I can get you booked in 15 minutes, depending on your type of equipment. Sometimes you definitely not going to get booked. It may take an hour. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's going to take that long. A lot of it depends on you. If you're consistent and you update me and you get where you say you're going to go at the time or around the time that you say you're going to be there, then I can be prepared and have your next load. But what's not going to happen, you're not going to be late, and then I'm going to have to cancel and rebook because that's double work for me. So I get like all of that out the way in the beginning. And then when I start to run into challenges in the middle, I have a standard procedure DocuSign that I just send with an initial reminder. Hey, boom, 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 boom. Because I just try to get a lot of it out in the very beginning on onboarding calls, so they kind of know. And I do find that when I tell them up front and then they're waiting, or if the rate is low, they'll say, oh, well, you already told me to expect this. So they kind of knew going in. But it was one other thing I was going to mention. I will say when I first came into trucking, I did get a lot like, where's your husband? Or let me talk to him. But I don't really get that. I don't really get that anymore. But I used to be like, no, like literally did not want to talk to me. And I think it's because I started to deal with so many from the trucking side, drivers, and start to deal with so many people directly that I start to, learn a little more about trucking, be a little comfortable around drivers and trucking company owners and different things. And I just think it maybe changed my confidence a little bit. I don't know. And other thing that I was because literally someone just said this yesterday, and it rubs me the wrong way a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Someone said, dispatcher service is a waste of money. It could be. It could be. Because at the end of the day, you decide what's necessary to you. Okay. But like I told the gentleman that said that, we pay people to do things we don't know how to do, we don't want to do, or we don't have time to do. You pay someone because they have a skill that you don't have, or you just don't want to do it. We could easily say that it's a waste of time to spend money on food. On eating out at restaurants. Well, we do it because we don't have time to cook. We don't want to cook, so we pay somebody else to do it. So dispatching is a service. You can opt in or you can opt out. It is up to you. We provide a service. And to be honest, like, dispatchers help keep carriers safe. We keep you safe on the roads because we handle the paperwork, we book the loads, we do the communication, we take that weight off of you so you can focus on getting that load there on time. But if you prefer to save that money, I'm the queen of keeping the money in-house. I have carriers that go from being a dispatch client to being a dispatch student, to signing their wife up or their daughter and say, hey, can I pay you weekly while I'm mentoring them while we're in the loads, and I'm helping you do that. Because at the end of the day, I have some carriers that I have had for 3 years, but it's not for everybody. I've had some carriers I've had for over a year. On average, maybe on average, majority of my carriers maybe last between 6 and 9 months. And that's okay. Because I do recommend, and again, I'm a trucking company owner, so I hired a dispatcher, but a dispatcher fills in the gap for you when you can't. I had a full-time job. I did not have time to do it. I didn't even know how to do it. She educated me. And the thing about a dispatcher is, like, the skill that a dispatcher has a lot of times is they know how to talk to people. We know how to talk to people. We know how to negotiate a higher rate. And we understand things that they don't, which is like I tell people all the time, you call and you get that MC number. Some brokers know by them first 3 numbers how old your authority is.
Yeah.
So they already prepared to offer you $300 less. But when you got to somehow on the other end that's smart enough to know what rate they need to ask for, I was that person that when that young lady when I basically fired her and I took over, I was that person that was how much you want for that? Let me just give you $600. Okay, book that load, because I didn't have a clue. And that's what makes the difference. Now, actually, when I call a broker, I'm like running it. You go first. You tell me what you want to offer. I'm a rebuttal, but I got all my little systems down place before. I'm going to give you all these benefits before I ask you for that rate. And those are the things that make the difference. And for all of us, we hire people to do anything that we just don't know how to do. I don't know how to drive a truck. I have to hire truck drivers. It's the same thing. So.
That's correct. So I do have a consultation, but it still tends to, I have actually 2 before I even put them on a road. Mm-hmm. But it still tends to, especially with a lot of new people that just entering the trucking industry, it still they still in their mindset, they still looking at COVID numbers, and you still keeping it transparent with them, telling them what the market looking like. And some people just don't comprehend at all. That's just I'm
blessed. I have some good clients.
They just don't comprehend it.
I'm blessed. I have some really good clients. The only thing, like, people ask me, what is it you don't like about dispatching? And I know y'all gonna feel me when I say this. The only thing I do like that, I don't have a dispatch complaint at all. The only thing I don't like is when I book people. Once it happened to me a few times where I booked 3 people, then the loads fall back and I got to do it again. Load canceled, moved to the next day. They got there and they denied the trailer, denied the truck, and boom, I'm right back where I started. And I thought my day was over. That's literally the only thing I don't like. I literally like everything else because I'm sorry, I'm laughing because my husband does the small equipment. I do the semi trucks. That's one and done. Boom. I literally sometimes wake up and just boop, boop, boop. And I'm literally done. Sometimes I book them for the whole week. So that is, that's why I like the semi. So mine is pretty easy breezy. Like
somebody asked in the comments, any negotiating tips. And after that, we're gonna get back to asking you about how did you move on to
okay. Negotiation. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Negotiate. Be prepared. So I tell people all the time, be prepared. Do not dial that number unless, one, you know that MC number, because that's the first thing they're going to ask for. You know where your driver is located. You remember the type of equipment you have. You book multiple carriers. You know that how many miles they are away from that pickup location, and have you the rate the lowest rate you'll take in mind. It doesn't take a lot. Like people say, it's not that serious. It's not that where you guys say, oh, I got to write down. Oh, there's a lot of stuff she said, but have the lowest rate in mind you're going to take, your goal rate, and then the rate you're going to ask for. Because the goal is if you get between the lowest rate you'll take and to the rate that you ask for, you have won. And that is what I say, be prepared. And for me, everybody's negotiation skills is different. Mine is you go first. So I normally end after they tell me, my first thing is, what is the best rate you are going to offer? And when you tell me, I'm always going to ask for something more. But before I ask for that, because I've listened to you, and I remember all those things that I just mentioned, then my response typically is, oh, okay, well, this load picks up in Atlanta, Georgia. I actually have a driver right there in College Park, less than 15 minutes away. Empty now, we could be there in less than an hour. How about you give me blah, blah, blah? And because I gave them all that information, oh, you close, you can get there in an hour. Yeah, we can do that. So that's how. And then also another thing I use is we already set up. And they know, oh, there's no paperwork. I just got to send her a rate con. So I've already qualified all of that before I even, while I'm listening, you telling me, okay, I got it. And I already know what my ETA is, how far I'm away. Are we already set up? We're empty right now. Most of the time they'll pay that extra money just to get you there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So let's get back to what I guess asking you. You told us about the dispatching and who you hired and how you pretty much transitioned to partnership. How did you move on to pretty much expand your company as far as doing compliance and doing other stuff?
Okay, so originally when we first started, my husband said we were going to do everything so we could learn how to do it. I never imagined that. We only said we were going to do everything so we could learn how to do it. I never imagined that doing everything would allow me to make more income for myself by charging other people to do it. So originally, since I knew how to do that already, and when we started to offer to set people up, started to offer to our friends and family, and I started to set them up and just charge them like a little fee. And then I was like, you know what? I'll start doing more compliance. And I'll tell you a true story. And a lot of people know this story. So I posted this video on a Friday, and I was headed to Florida. It's important. This part is important. I was headed to Florida for my niece's baby shower. I posted this video on a Friday. It had a little dirt on it. When I tell you my phone rang from 7 a.m., no lie, to 10 p.m. non-stop, all day. All day. When that was over, I had 25 clients. And I was not ready. Hold on
right here. You had the music, Lil Durk, in the background, or you actually had him in
I had him in the video. I'm going to post it again when I'm ready. Don't worry. I'm going to post it in 2 more weeks because I'm about to be ready. So I literally got 25 clients. And I charged them $700 a piece to set their companies up. But the hard part was I was not ready. Because I didn't expect it to come that fast. So I literally stopped. And this was like, I think last summer. I stopped. I didn't do it no more. I didn't post nothing else. I think I just did my little website for compliance and posted my flyers a few times. I haven't advertised it because I'm still building my team. But those 25 clients, I did good as far as onboarding them, but it was frustrating. It was stressful. And for me, I'm a CEO. I came from working for someone else where stress was a part of my life. I don't do that, and something I chose to do. So I literally, my husband, my son, because my son, like business had got so good, my son was working for me. I had my son, I had an assistant in Atlanta, had an assistant in Macon, had 7 dispatchers, and I just said, my son was like, okay, Mom, we wasn't ready for this. We need to regroup, restructure, get some systems in place. So we managed to get all them on board and their trucking company started. And I literally have not promoted it aggressively since then because I know I need. Go ahead.
Everybody want to know how you got that video.
I'm giving y'all my video.
You know everybody want to know that. How did you get him in the video?
I'll post it in about, because I just had my son.
I ain't asked you that. I asked you, how did you get him in the video?
Oh, no, it was his video.
Huh?
It was his video.
Oh, it was his video?
Yes.
Oh,
I just took a clip.
Right?
Huh?
Trucking company.
Yeah.
Have a trucking company?
Yeah, he has one.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Oh, okay. I'm slow. Atlanta Public Schools. Excuse me.
Girl, you see him?
Ebony be keeping us. Ebony is our Angela Yee.
Look at Ebony. Ebony like.
She ain't cussed me out yet today. She normally keep us in check. She been letting me go wild today.
No, I have, because I'm really I'm just, just hearing her story is it's inspiring, and whoever, you know what I'm saying? Because like even when we mentor people, some people, they so hard on themselves to where they trying to figure out how can this person do it and why. Because I had those moments, you know what I'm saying? I felt like I came from on a corporate side, logistics side. So I've been doing that on the corporate side for 20 plus years. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. But when I tell my story, it took me like 7 months to get my first client. So you know what I'm saying? It's just about, continue to, like you said, you had to regroup, strategic plan, like change stuff up. Yep. You just got to do something different and be consistent with it.
Amen. That's a big thing, to be consistent. That is very, very big. Very big.
That's so crazy. You can win so much in life just being consistent and showing up.
Yeah.
The people don't realize
that. Every single day.
It's not the smartest, it's not the fastest. It's just the person who shows up literally
every single day. Yep. Yep.
Okay, so we know how you started 2016. Pretty much you struggled, had to rebuild the business. Hired dispatchers, that didn't work. You pretty much did partnerships. And then as far as how you built your business to do compliance, safety, and stuff like that. What's next for you? What do you see next for the first female of freight?
More partnerships. Okay, so my passion is the training.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah, I got you. I already refer you. I like your consistency. I like your consistency. Because what I try to tell people all the time, when it comes to a mentor or a trainer, I'm sorry, I know it's a little off subject, but when it comes to a mentor or a trainer, people like to see people that look like them. People like to see people that are where they are now or where they want to be or look like them. So a woman is not the ideal mentor for most men. Majority of my mentees are female. So when I see you and you're consistent in the things you do, and then I saw you offer dispatch mentorship, like I refer people to you. And that's what it should be about. It should be about partnership and refer other people. And eventually, in some months I don't do trainings, and there are people that want, like, I want to start right now. So I normally say, hey, this person is actually doing it this month. So that way you don't have to wait for my next class, which is every other month. So I just kind of wanted to mention that, but I do like what you're doing. I see your consistency. I absolutely love it. So just keep that up, and yeah, we definitely can partner. I'm all about partnership. I want to see you at one of my events. But what I wanted to say was, what's next? There's a few things. One thing is I love the training. I'm passionate about the training. I love trainings, events, partnerships. I do still love the dispatch, and my husband and I just had our weekly meeting, and I was just telling them, we was just talking about 2023 and what's the future, and I literally was just telling them the exact same thing. But I don't want to get out of dispatching because, one, I am passionate about it, and I like to teach real things. I don't want to be that teacher that try to tell you, oh, different things about dispatching, but I haven't dispatched in over a year. I book loads every single day, and I still want to book loads every single day. I just may not take on as many carriers. So what's the future for me is more trainings, more partnerships, more events, and then my husband has some new things he's doing in trucking coming out the beginning of next year. So I'll be sharing that also. Oh, and the other thing is, ideally, we actually have closed down our Macon office. We closed down North Carolina last year. We closed down Macon, so we just have our office at the Battery in Atlanta. So now we're going to, next year, the goal is to open up a training/events office space in the Metro Atlanta area, where I can kind of save money on locations and just have a one-stop spot. Yeah.
All right. One last question, because I know it's getting close to an hour. I know you're super busy. You said earlier, and I'll let Ebony and them ask you some questions to wrap up.
Okay.
You said that most clients normally last 6 to 9 months, you know. And, why is that? And did that kind of motivate you to get into other fields like the safety and compliance? And does that scare you a little bit, you know? Because I'm pretty sure that I heard that and I want to expand my business, but that's something that I know in the back of my mind. Like, I had one driver, I had 8 last year, and it went all the way down to 1 and had to build it all the way back up. So that's always in the back of my mind. So for somebody that's been in the game since 2016, why is that? And does that scare you? And did that kind of influence you a little bit to get into other ventures of trucking?
It actually, I kind of fell into all of them, but it's what motivates me to keep consistently doing multiple things. Because I, just like you, had like 11 carriers at one time, and I think I got down to 3 in less than a week, over a weekend.
Oh my God!
Yeah, over a weekend, and that was just like for mine, because my husband, I take a certain amount, he takes a certain amount, and literally everybody like had different things going on, and we literally got down to 3. I got down to 3, but the thing about it is,
That's scary.
Yeah, it is, but I use it.
Part of the game, though.
Yeah, it is, and that's why that's why I tell people all the time, like trucking and dispatching. Like, we just did a class, and the money is good, but when you see that $3,000 to $5,000 a week, don't go to the mall. I literally have a $200 a week budget That's what I use. Well, I spent $7,000 on myself for my birthday. Did I splurge when we just went to Texas? Yes, I did. But every single week right now, I spent is $200 a week. That is my budget. I literally had this dress that I mentioned a few times. I got from Walmart, $11, 2 pockets. I bought 21 of them, and that's what I'm wear most of the days. So I'm just like, when you become a CEO, all of those little fancy things are not important to you, because it doesn't matter what I'm wearing. It matters more where I'm going in life. So for me, I like having the multiple streams of income in trucking. And I will say, I think when you say, did I get scared? I think trucking scared me so much, nothing does. Nothing does. But I will tell you this. We had 3 trucks break down all at once. 3 trucks broke down. And literally, no lie, documented, spent $40,000 in truck repairs in less than 1 week. But the beauty of it is that dispatch company, the consistent income we make from that is what held us over when things got rough in trucking. And the other thing is, dispatching is very good. It's great money. Like when I did my 7 ways to make money in trucking, that was my number one. When everybody said, which one you prefer? It's the lowest startup cost. It's the highest amount of money you can make, to the point where now we're selling our trucks and focusing more on the dispatch side. Like my husband, I've been trying to get him on the dispatch team for a while. And once those trucks broke down and he saw how much that at that point, when the trucks broke down, he was able to see the worth of the dispatch company, because that's when he focused on how much we was really making, because he could see, okay, so yeah, and that's where we are. Like it's very good money, but you do offer the additional services. Like I think I made like $2,500 1 week in compliance. Yep. And that's the highest I made, like in compliance. And again, I don't advertise consistently. I will. I didn't have the help. But now that I do, I will. Yep.
Okay. That was up. James, Ebony, do y'all have any questions for the young lady?
I mean, this has been just a whole bunch of great information. I don't really have any specific questions. I just want to say thank you for your time. We appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
How about you, Queen, up there?
I pretty much don't. I don't have a specific question either, because you basically covered everything.
Every point you've been stressing.
pretty much, you know what I'm saying? And just for another, like transparent person, transparent woman coming on here, like, showing the ugly side when she started. That's what I can appreciate. You know what I'm saying? Because so many people take that for granted. Like, when people, they think, you start a business and your business gonna just kick off right away. It doesn't. It takes, it at least takes 5 years. In order for you to, and you got to understand why you doing something. Is this your passion? Don't just get in it. You have a lot of people just jumping in this and they just want to make money. That's not who I am. You get what I'm saying? Because like when I tell my clients, I'm going to run your truck as if it's mine, I mean that. You know what I'm saying? I really do mean that. So it's just evident that, I appreciate her being transparent, coming out here and blessing our podcast. Yeah. And she talked about most of the stuff that I talk about all the time, partnership. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the type of person or business owner that I'm trying to keep all the money to myself.
Yeah,
I want to share it. I want to see you win. This is like,
Amen.
So that's why I hold my brother CJ accountable for a lot of things. You get what I'm saying? Because I have to let him know he's worthy of whatever. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just as worthy as anybody else. Yep. You know, so.
Nah, she telling me, raise that price. Raise the price, CJ.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
I'm like, all right, I'm raising the price. I'm raising the price.
Because, like, we give out so much information, and that's why even with him asking me to join the podcast with him and James, I told him, look, we going consistent every Tuesday. I have went through some stuff. I'm telling you, he know that. Like, I've been going through some stuff, and I still get on here. I could have just got my head shot off. I still get online on Tuesday, and he would never know. Yeah, because I have a passion for giving people information. Yeah, but also, it's so many people out here that don't wanna. They don't want a mentor. They don't. You ain't gonna get nowhere if you don't get no mentor. Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah. But I do agree with her when she say about price. Like I even had a like when it comes to price, stick to your price. And then the other thing you have to understand is people view price as value. And sometimes when the price is too low, they think the value is low. And what a lot of people don't know is when I started, I did an introductory dispatch class and started at $149. It did sell like hotcakes. It did. And then as I started to learn more and grow more and add more, I started to increase my price. But even I had a few people call me when it was like $2.99 and say, well, what's wrong with it? What is it missing? And I'm like, nothing. Why is it so low? People view price and value. And the other thing is, like you say, be consistent. But when you come to prices, stick to your price. What the lady say? The price is the price, okay? Because even today, the young lady called me and she literally was like, do you have any rates less than 7%? Because that's what I started. And I said, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I said, I can refer you to other people. I will, because I don't mind. I share money all day, baby. I said, I know people that charge flat rate, and I know people that will charge you probably 5%, and I will be glad to give you their information if you like. And she said, no, I'm okay with your price. Okay, but I don't mind if that's what you want. I said, if price is important to you, because to me it's not. That's not what it's about. You know, it's the value, and all the time the value is not coming in a lesser price. But sometimes people do view it, but people that don't know, you know, you just have to kind of decide. But I would say, don't short sell yourself. Like, pick your price and stick to your price. And if you want to do a promo occasionally, do a promo. And if you don't. And if one person, like even the classes that I teach, sometimes I had classes that I had 25 people and it's sold out and I got a waiting list. The next month I had one person. But guess what? I show up and I do a one-on-one with one person. And they like, well, you could have moved, you could have canceled. No, you paid your money. I'm here because at the end of the day, I sell a service. And it's going to be days like that. It's going to be one. It's going to be plenty, you know, and those days where there's 25 as opposed to one are coming. But like you said, you got to be consistent and you got to be willing to be there when it's none. You know, yeah, I had made up my mind when I only got that one, because it took a while to get the one. I made up my mind if nobody show up, I'm just about to do it anyway and get some practice. So, and that's what you got to do. Yep.
All right. That is a great closer. I like to end our podcast with quotes, and this is something I try to normally do that, try to be the positive one. I got to, out of all these two people. No, I'm joking. But no, something I got from Les Brown. A lot of us are not living our dreams because we're living our fears. I'll say that again. A lot of us are not living our dreams because we're living our fears. Let's use the rest of 2022 to take a chance on life and stop living our fears so we can live our dreams.
Amen.
And that was in another episode.
That was powerful.
You like that? You like that? I think I said it better than Les Brown too.
You did. You actually did, bro. I'm gonna support you on that. You know, you actually did. That's
Thank y'all.
Thank you so much.
I enjoyed y'all too, and I watch y'all. I tune in. I sure
do. We appreciate you.
We definitely appreciate you coming on, and you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Good night.
All right, everybody.
Bye.